I think we're in a new age. We're in a new space and we're in a new era where the powers that be that at one point controlled the market, controlled what we saw, controlled how we saw what we saw. I don't think that's the case anymore. And I don't think that genie is ever being put back in said bottle. I think we're just at an inflection point. I think there's a lot of people that probably want to see that genie put back in bottle, but it's too late. Pandora's box has been opened. What am I talking about? Content creators can now leverage the audience that they've procured over however many years and use that leverage to break into industries they would have otherwise not been able to break into. Look at somebody like Kai Cenat that has, as of late, linked up with Kevin Hart. And it looks like he's maybe going to start, going to acting more, maybe be in a couple movies. And he did it in an untraditional way. He already has the popularity. I'm telling you right now, if Kai Cenat, I'm not a follower of Kai Cenat like that, but I've seen his streams and I know his popularity because I have kids. If Kai Cenat is the star in a movie, it is guaranteed to make money. Kids like him. Like I Show Speed. If I Show Speed shows up in a movie, that kid will make a killing. And I'm sure if he wanted to act, all he would have to do is say the word because he's built such a big audience on YouTube that there is not a gatekeeper that can stop him. And this is the great thing about this space: YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of these things. If I build an audience on here that knows who I am and they like me, then a venture that I would go into, even if it's let's say something that the audience would have otherwise not necessarily be interested in, they might say, you know what? I've watched The Thinkening. I'm going to check this thing out. Just because he's part of it, I'm going to check it out and see. That's a good thing. This is overall a good thing, shaking up the industry. I want to read this article from Fandom Pulse. CoryxKenshin's manga Monsters We Make sells 200,000 copies, proving YouTube audience can drive publishing success. My son bought this book. He follows him. I don't know much about this young man. And I thumbed through the manga. I did not read. I read a little bit of it, but so I can't really tell you much about it. I can tell you the book, as far as quality, put together very well. The art was done very good. I mean, I was impressed. I was like, oh, wow. I knew nothing about this. So let's read this article, see what it has to say. Popular gaming YouTuber CoryxKenshin has achieved remarkable success with his original manga series, Monsters We Make, selling an impressive 200,000 copies in its first week of release. This achievement demonstrates the growing power of content creators to leverage their established audiences for publishing ventures through the creator's emphasis on racial representation soars the project in an age where people are sick of identity politics. And that may be. I don't know anything about CoryxKenshin. Like I said, I looked through the book. I didn't get that impression, but I didn't read through the whole book. I'll have to ask my son. Maybe I'll borrow it from him and read it and see, do I enjoy it or not? I might actually enjoy it. CoryxKenshin, whose real name is Corey Devontae Williams, has built a following of over 21 million subscribers on YouTube through his entertaining gameplay videos, particularly focusing on horror titles like Poppy Playtime and Five Nights at Freddy's. And this is the part of building that core audience through YouTube, not really needing any of the gatekeepers to build an audience. You come like with an audience already built in. So anything he were to create, I'm positive anything he were to create, no matter what it was guaranteed to have some success. But again, I will tell you from my initial look at the manga, I had it in my own hands. I thumbed through it. It looks like it's done very well. Just from aesthetics, that's all I can tell you. I can't tell you anything about the story. Maybe I'll be able to get to that at some point. Known for his energetic personality and signature headband, the 31-year-old creator took 18 months hiatus from content creation to develop his manga project. And kudos to this young man for understanding that if he was to build something great, something was going to have to languish. There are some people that can multitask, focus on 3, 4, 5 heavy projects at once. But it's rare that this can be done. And again, good on him for noticing something's going to languish. I'm going to have to set something aside and have something else rise to the top in order to make it good. And it seems like for the time being, he prioritized this manga, and it looks like that worked on his behalf. When he finally returned to YouTube in late 2024, CoryxKenshin revealed that his extended absence was due to his work on Monsters We Make, a sci-fi horror manga that has now become one of the fastest-selling independent published manga series in the United States. The success has been so substantial that a second volume has already been confirmed for publication later in 2025. Yo, again, kudos to this young man. Kudos to him. What makes this achievement particularly noteworthy is that CoryxKenshin accomplished it without the backing of a major publisher, instead working with New Eden Press to bring his vision to life. Much like we've seen with creators like Eric July, his direct-to-audience approach represents a shift in publishing where creators can bypass traditional gatekeepers by leveraging their existing fan base. And that's true. That's true. That's why I say this is an amazing time with Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I remember, look, there was a time where I could never put out a show like this and reach any audience. I mean, other than my time, which time is money, and I'm not making any money off YouTube right now, I'm on my way to monetization. I need like 60 more subscribers and something like 1,600 more watch hours. Man, I'm getting close. But I said all that to say, it doesn't cost me anything to put these videos out. This is all done by me. I'm a one-man band. There's nobody else involved. It is just me. I enjoy this. I enjoy talking comic books and geek stuff. So it's really like I'm having a conversations with my friends about geek stuff. That's why I spend so much time in the comments. If you guys comment, that's me responding. It's not anybody else. It's only me. And I love the interaction. Sometimes I don't get to everybody, in a timely fashion, but I try to if I can. But again, building these YouTube audiences, it eliminates the need to go to the gatekeepers. This has really provided us everything we need to just straight up jump over and bypass these gatekeepers. However, CoryxKenshin's statements pandered toward identity politics rather than storytelling when talking about his book. When talking about the book, creating a story that scrutinizes humanity and what makes us tick, injecting some of the Black representation I've been longing to see in this space, and finally adding in some sprinkles of my faith in God. I like that. Where the driving forces behind this project, he told Dexerto. Look, I think in this case, this is a different scenario, and here's why I say this. In the major comic book publishers, there are IPs that have been around longer than most of us have been alive, with established stories and established characters. People don't want those characters changed. However, in a situation like this, where this young man took something, his own idea, put it together, and put in that IP the thing that he wanted to see, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. And clearly, there's an audience for it. Look, if you're going to do this, I think this is the way to go. Create your own thing. And if there's an audience for it, the audience will buy it. Now, you can make the argument that maybe it's just because he has so many YouTube subscribers, he was guaranteed for success. We will see if there is an interest for the second book. And the second book doesn't have to do as well as this first one. I would say if the second book, this book sold 200,000 copies. If the second book sold 100,000 copies, that's still incredible. And that means there is an audience for it. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. He further emphasized his racial motivations, stating, "It meant a lot to me to see a character like the Ray Cage from Naruto," probably pronouncing that wrong. Forgive me. I'm not a fan of Naruto. I don't dislike it, but I've just never watched it like that. I've seen episodes here and there, but not my thing. I'm not going to be like Michael B. Jordan. That's a joke. Those who get it, they get it. In a space where you don't typically see Black characters, let alone powerful ones, my hope is that my main character, Jabari, can be to people what Goku was to me growing up. Despite these concerns about the creative motivation, CoryxKenshin's publishing success cannot be denied. The creator has promised fans he isn't abandoning his YouTube channel, holding firm on his commitment to upload 100 videos in 2025, despite the demands of his publishing venture. What do you think of CoryxKenshin having a huge success in manga? Leave a comment and let me know below. He says, let us know. I'll tell you, let me know. Let me know what you think. Some people, I'm guaranteed some people will have a problem with his, the racial focus. I will say for me, being that this is his own creation, you are welcome to create whatever you want, whatever character you want, and the way you want to create it. The thing us geeks have a problem with is when you take established IP and you change it to suit you. These are established brands that we love for the characters, for who they are, and we don't want them changed. But creating something new like this and it having success, kudos to this young man. I hope he does well with his second book as well.